What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Peter Katani, and we are finally in October. Now, I might not know what I'm going to dress up as for Halloween, but what I do know is that October 12th and the 13th, we got Pro Play Tour Columbus, and a week right after, we have 2019 Nationals. I have no idea what I'm going to be playing, but based on scientific studies, calculations, and the polls, and every other event that's happened so far, we kind of have an idea of the top 5 decks of October. So I'm going to go over them and kind of give you an idea of what to expect in Nationals. Let's check them out. Alright, for the first deck we're going to go over, it is the big lizard himself, Shenron. Now when it comes to Shenron, there's a ton of different versions I can show you, but this is the more recent one that did really good, and it's straightforward Gogeta. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And that's pretty much what this guy did. He only ran 4 Gokus and 4 Vegetas, and it was just that straight line. Everything else is just to support and be defensive to get to your turn 4 5s. What's really good about Shenron, and always has been, is it has the best mid-late game plan. Great defense, and once it gets there, no other deck can do what it does. Also in this version, it runs Power Burst, having a Sparking Negate to grab your little 1-drops. If your negates become 5k power, that's more defense, that's awesome. In a mirror match, this is huge. A lot of the Shenron decks did not see Dende. So when I saw this edition, I was like, dude, this is just genius. Just having the main board, it draws you a card if you have 1 energy to spare. Worst comes to worst, in a mirror match, you're pretty much racing to ramp up the fastest to drop your bomb. With this, you just stop your opponent while you're ramping. You got the mirror match pretty well. This is a really well built deck that I was just a big fan of, and I just wanted to show. But then when we go to its cousin, we have pretty much Rampon. Rampon is now being used with Purunga because his wish ability is like World's Peace, which can become really beneficial. And with Rampon, there's more ramp than anything, just because it's trying to drop different kind of bombs. I'm a big fan, but the difference between the two decks, Rampon mostly uses Victory Strike, and Shenron is pretty much just going straight forward, Gogeta, give it crit, triple attack, and that's how it's winning. So this is definitely a contender in the field, and you never really know what you're going to be playing against. Once you see the game plan, it could be too late, and then you go into sideboard. So let's check out the next deck. Alright, next we got the big contender of this format, pretty much the 1-2 swap of this format. It is U6 whatever, mostly Broly. This is a Marcel special because he's the one that kind of thought of it. Broly is probably the best yellow leader, but Peter, Kaba can do this and this. I get it, cool, that's great, but Kaba can't sideboard certain cards, can't mainboard certain cards, so that becomes a little bit of a problem when it comes to that leader. But Broly can do everything. He has a Self-Awakener, and his ability, once he's awakened, he taps something down for no reason, don't have to pay anything, that's already great. And then he untaps one of your cards, your energy, your battle card, or even himself. Very strong leader when it comes to just being yellow in general. And just to top it off, the little spice in there is the fact that he's Frieza Army. Yes, Cold Bloodlust is at 1, but it's still a card that can catch you off guard and just win a game by itself. When we're talking about the U6 package, already cards that we know is super devastating to deal with is Champa and Vados. Really good card, comes out too easy, let's just go with that. It comes out way too easy, and then your whole deck pretty much works for free. And then to try to remove this is almost impossible, unless you minus 20k it or negate its skill and then destroy it. This guy stays on the board the whole time. It's constant, just 15k swinging at you, and defensively is 20, so you can attack it defensively, but you have to waste cards to remove it, so it becomes a little bit of a problem. Q6 is also really good at swarming the board with his creatures for free, keeping a hand side that's great, putting pressure, swinging twice, and then most importantly, the main thing that U6 got going for it is tapping your energy down. The fact that they're both the same card, you play the 2-drop, you tap the energy down, then you evolve it, you can tap something else down. It just has great control of your opponent's energy or battle cards by just tapping them. And then also it's just great aggro because this is a double strike swing, right? You defend, untap it, swing again. U6 is a huge aggro deck, and in this format, this is the main thing you have to watch out for. But there's another one. It's cousin technically, is Apes. Broly Apes. We already know how good Broly is, but now we're gonna take out the U6 package and switch it up with the monkeys. Monkeys were good back then, so they gotta be good now, right? It's pretty much the addition of King Vegeta. This is theoretically a one drop that comes out with a rival and replaces itself by drawing a card. It can kill a 3 or lower, but that's kind of irrelevant. The fact is you just want on the board to get to your big monkey. This is like Chopper of Autos, where it's barrier and gives everyone else like free combo. It's -1 less, but most of the time to combo it's cost 1. There's one guy that costs 2, but we'll get into that for a sec. And it gives everyone barrier. If anything, that's better protection than Chopper of Autos. So this guy was a monster, but the only thing you were able to evolve over was like a 3 drop. Now we have a 1 drop that we can evolve over, which is really good. Also benefit, it's this new monkey that came out in Draft Box 4. You pay 2 in any turn. If you're a yellow leader, so Broly's a yellow leader, he comes out and play at the end of the combo, taps an opponent's battle card, and draws a card. It replaces itself, and he's double strike. What? So Broly Apes is a brand new aggro deck that's seen a lot of play. And if they're able to stick this 5 drop on the board, it's a really difficult to get rid of. Yes, there's some cards that, you know, ignore barrier, get rid of it. Cool, it's not bad, but it's also an aggressive deck that it might not be aggressive like turn 2, but by turn 3, if they land this, turn 4 becomes a nightmare to try to defend. So you definitely gotta be prepared to go against something like this. Alright, so we went over like the 2 most powerful decks right now, which is Shenron / Purunga on Broly U6 or Apes, which that's what I think are like the best 2. Now the next 2 I'm going to show go into like a bottom list. Like they're still tier decks, they're very strong decks, but the next 2 decks I'm going to show have their little weaknesses to each of the decks. That's why they're a little bit below. Toa, it was a monster not just like a month ago, and then new cards came out and it slowly started seeing less play. But why? Well, let's go into the benefits Toa has. You know, on the front side, it checks the top 5 and you can grab an answer that you need or build up to your turn 4 play. And on the back side, it has God Strike ability to turn off a keyword. Alright, we already know that's good. Also has Vegeta Time Regulator, that if an opponent doesn't have removal for it, this card just starts gaining you advantage throughout the game. Pretty good. And Toa's best card is probably this 5 drop that has a deflect and go into 7 drop mirror with ease to rip 3 cards up from your opponent's hand and swing double strike crit. That's pretty much a strategy of the deck. Problem is people are adapting, people are learning how to deal with it better. And like Shenron, it was good against Shenron. Why? Because Gogeta would gain critical, triple attack, you just turned off triple attack and you're safe. Cool, so that was the big play, you turned it off. Shenron's kind of adapting with like Rampon, they added Victory Strike. Victory Strike is huge against Toa. Toa can't turn off Victory Strike, so because that's the effect of it. So that became a little bit of a problem. And then Broly is becoming way too aggressive for her to deal with. So Toa is slowly seeing less play, but it's still a monster of a leader. It still has all its little tricks, but it's called adapting. Once you play test enough, you learn how to beat it. That's what the format is happening. These decks are learning how to beat Toa, and she's having some trouble. Next on that little tier list that we're doing is Janemba. Not Crit Janemba, not the other leader, but the one that everyone hates, the Mill 2 Please leader. Janemba, as you know, is a built-in win con, so pretty much it doesn't have to kill your opponent through life. It can stall out the game being defensive the whole time, while every turn your opponent mills 2, 4, maybe even 6 cards. So it has a built-in win con. The deck is now evolved into a counter-active with all these new counterplays. So it just waits for your opponent to do something, and then it responds by either destroying it, tapping it, and just continuously defend while it's still putting pressure. And then last but not least, it's a blue leader, which Dimensional Magic with Arrival mechanics, it's really good because you defend yourself, you untap 2. Alright, your opponent tries to do something. Alright, now I'm going to counterplay by doing this other play. Very strong altogether. Alright, let's talk about the cons of Janemba. So let's just use the example of the two best decks that we're talking about, Shenron and Broly. With Shenron, since you are a counteractive deck, you're not putting in enough pressure. Sure, you can play certain things for like 2 and just start swinging, but you know, Shenron's built to defend. It's just going to keep on ramping until it gets to its 5 energy, and you can have 11 cards in hand, Gogeta. Oh, that's a problem. Oh, but I can tap it with Champa. That's cool, you can, but at that point you only have 5 cards to work with. That many cards in hand is not enough really to defend the following turn, and it becomes problematic. Same thing with Broly. If we talk about U6, it taps your energy down, which can be super annoying. And against Apes, the 5-drop monkey giving everything barrier, all your cards start losing value. Other than, again, Champa, tapping something down, anything that you counterplay can't do anything. They have barrier. So Janemba, strong contender, but it's in another tier level compared to those two because it has its little cons against those decks. Now we're going into the next bracket of tiers. You know, you have the Shenron Broly, then Toa and Janemba. In the next bracket, we got Baby. Why is it in the next bracket? It's because it is a good deck, solid. For what you're trying to do, perfect. It does it so well, but it has its flaws against certain things. Baby's really good against aggro. It has such minus ability that, you know, minus 10k, minus 20. It gets rid of Champa Vados with ease. But outside of that, let's say against Shenron, Baby can put pressure, but it's kind of a one-trick pony. It's just trying to get into the monkey. That is one creature with triple strike. Amazing. Oh my god, I can't believe it. But if it gets negated, that was my turn. Pass. Against Shenron, you're going to need Digging Deep. You need like 3 on the board just to swing. Swing, 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 all that. And then you probably beat Shenron. High five. And Digging Deep isn't hard because we have Familiar Bonds. It can come out pretty easy, not bad. But if you do not see enough of these, the Shenron match becomes really difficult. It has its kicks, its Self-Awakener, that's always going to be good. The minus 5k against U6, it's great. Even minus 10, perfect. Minus 20, also against U6 you should be fine. Against the monkeys though, if they bring out the one that gives everyone barrier, we have a problem. We can't do anything. There's nothing that we can minus. We can't ignore barrier either. We have to wait until we get to that, and it's turn 5. By then, monkeys probably have too much pressure going on with you that you didn't survive. But you gotta think positive. When it comes to Baby Vegeta, his opinion, my opinion, best card is Revenge Death Ball. I'm a huge fan of this, and it's just really good against aggro. But again, Shenron, you're like, we gotta charge it. Can't do anything. Its next best card is this 6-drop monkey, because you know, monkeys are coming back, right? This monkey also great against aggro, we know that, but against Shenron, like you have it, you put pressure, they defend themselves, cool, they go Gogeta, they ruin your hand. This monkey doesn't really get any value. It can't minus 20k that, but it does draw a card. So instead of having 3 cards from Gogeta, you have 4. Kind of cool. But most of the time, it's just not enough. So Baby is there in the list because it won an event. I know that much. And it's good against the aggro decks. But 5-drop monkey, barrier, having a problem. So Apes, kind of giving it a problem. And against Shenron, it's never had a good matchup. So, next deck. Last deck we gotta talk over. It is Son Goku. Kind of like next to Baby. This deck is super interesting, but it has its little kicks and little flaws, but it's very counteractive. Like most of the time you are just gonna swing, burst 2, pitch a card, draw 2, pass. You create a wall turn based on turn 2 or 3 with Krillins. So if they rush you down too much, you have this Goku to come in, save the day. Not bad, not bad. And then it's turn 5, it's the end game. It's trying to do just like Shenron, but Shenron rams, so that's kind of a problem. But once it gets to turn 5, it's just trying to do KO Cannon. But you have the Champa to tap it. Oh my god, it's amazing. I get it, cool. This build actually had a really cool concept that on turn 5 it awakens. So after you do KO Cannon, if something went wrong, you can use Paragus to go into the secret rare Broly. You put yourself at 1, so when you're swinging, you pretty much kill them anyways. Incredible idea, but this is not searchable. So you have so much draw power, but you start out bursting a lot. So if this got burst, you don't really have a way to grab it back. So it's very gimmicky, but it is a strong deck. If you actually watch the video and Crossroad TCG, very good. He talks to the creator of the deck and he says, you know, the whole time, every matchup he feels like he's losing. But once you bring out turn 5, you just win magically. After testing a few games, it's exactly that. The whole time I'm like, yo, this deck doesn't do anything. And then turn 5, I'm like, ha ha, I'm winning. So it's pretty good. Test it, try it out. It has a little tricks in there, like against Shenron, it has some kind of answer there where you don't need to overrun this. You can actually just pay 3 to warp an opponent's energy, and then your opponent has to remove this off the board. If not, every turn you're just going to keep warping your energy, because most likely Shenron's going to be ahead of you when it comes to energy. And it's counteractive in the sense that it has Parental Strike, so when your opponent tries to play something, you have Parental Strike and Vegeta the Cruel, and the whole time you're just kind of like stalling out to get to turn 5. You're just dropping Krillins to replace a card of yourself, and they become blockers afterwards. In an emergency case that you have to awaken, this becomes a 4-drop blocker, so when it gets destroyed, boom, Goku comes in and destroys something with barrier. Really good against Broly Apes. You know, with them 5-drop monkey on the board that gives everyone barrier. This guy comes in, kills that. Now their combo is not as free. Not bad. Alright guys, thank you for joining me on this video. This is kind of like the first time I've done something like this. Normally I just go over the deck profile, but with this one, I try to just give you the info that I know and have studied and try to make it as fast as possible, because I noticed my videos go way too long. So hopefully by the time I calculate this should be like 10-15 minutes time. But till next time, I hope I see everyone at Columbus, and if I don't, at least Nationals. Please, we're gonna have a great time at Nationals. There's even like a liftoff competition at the gym. We're all gonna make this happen. But you know, you didn't hear it here. Hopefully my boss doesn't see the end, because I'll get in trouble for saying it. But thank you for joining me. Till next time, guys.